I'm going to be mindful of everyone's time, like I said. I just want to welcome everyone to this informal question and answer session regarding Tuition4Me, which you may have read about, hopefully in the parents' weekly preview that Mr. Quigley has sent out. I just want to make sure that I give as much information to whoever might be interested in this effort as possible. And I do have notes here, so excuse me for referring to those. So I'm going to keep everything mindful that, I'm not stammering and stuttering too much also. I just want to introduce myself since many of you obviously haven't met me in person. I am Duke Dalbeck, the Director of Institutional Advancement. I was hired by Joe McColgan, our president, and Father Richard and the board a year ago, March 23rd, 2020, 1 week after the school shut down due to the pandemic. I've been working remotely pretty much 99.9% of the time, but I've had excellent support and encouragement from the administration and the board. So I'm just happy to be able to talk to all of you in this setting. My role here is to do everything I can to sustain the mission of Neumann-Goretti and help our Neumann-Goretti community as much as I possibly can. Just a few housekeeping items right now. I am recording this Zoom call because anyone that cannot make it tonight, I want to make sure it's available to them, that we can email the link to them so they can hear more about this personally. And we're also going to be putting on a Tuition4Me landing page that one of our staff is going to be putting up on our website so that people have as much information as possible. It's scheduled for no more than 1 hour, so I want to be mindful of your family time, so I'm not holding you back from anything. And I want to share as much about Tuition4Me as I can, and then I'll open it up for questions and any thoughts or anything like that. But feel free anytime to jump in or raise your hand or just unmute yourself and do that. But if you could stay muted while I'm going through this, that way we'll keep the noise and the levels as free as possible. So, but again, stop me at any time if there's any discussion. If you have to jump off for any reason and then come back on, I will make it a point to be on here until 8 o'clock, just so that I'm here and available for anyone that might not be able to make it right away right now. Again, joining us this evening, as you can see, our president, Joe McColgan, who you're probably familiar with. Joe's been with Neumann-Goretti since late 2017. And also Father Richard Antonucci, who's the chairman of our board of directors at Neumann-Goretti, and he's a 1963 alumnus of Neumann-Goretti. Let me just jump right in. Tuition4Me, it's an unprecedented virtual auction of donated college scholarships or housing credits that I created way back in 2007 for another nonprofit, and I brought it forward now in 2021 for the benefit of Neumann-Goretti. There's one main reason why this effort is being undertaken, and that is to help our students save money on their college costs this year. Back in June of 2020, I started soliciting hundreds of colleges in Pennsylvania and surrounding states to see if they would be willing to participate and donate scholarships to us without any cost to us that we could offer to students at Neumann-Goretti and elsewhere for them to bid on and potentially win a full value scholarship, not a full ride scholarship, but a full value scholarship of a certain dollar amount for a reduced price. If you've ever been to a silent auction at an event or even online, it follows the same principle that the items are valued at a higher level and bidders bid on them at lower levels incrementally to see if they can secure them at a lower price. The value of these scholarships range from $1,000 to $4,000 each. And each scholarship is in addition to previously awarded student financial aid, so that they can use that on top of whatever they've been awarded for the 21-22 academic year. Now I see that, just talking to you briefly, that I have some seniors, parents of seniors and parents of juniors. These scholarships are intended to be used in this fall, this academic year, 21-22. However, I anticipate that everything is going to be successful this year, and I'm hoping that the colleges that are participating will join us next year. So even though this may not be as applicable this year, I'm glad you're on the call so that you can see how beneficial this can be even next year when we repeat this. And I'm very optimistic that this will continue. Mr. McColgan gave me the blessing to go through with this last summer, knowing full well how it can benefit Neumann-Goretti. And it's kind of the start of something that can grow and become very significant for our students and students everywhere to save on their college costs. We have a Tuition4Me website. It is active right now for exploration. It was in the weekly preview if you saw the invitation. It is www.32auctions. That's the number 32 and then the word auctions.com/tuition, the number 4, me. Tuition4Me. That's the name of the identity. That website, which was on the invitation that was emailed to you by Mr. Quigley, has that information that you can click on that link, or you can search that link so you can see the scholarships that are available from our schools. Starting next Tuesday, and let me just pause here and say hi, welcome to anyone else that's jumping on the call here. I thank you for being here. I'm just going through some of the explanation here, but I will pause and we'll be able to have questions and information and thoughts as we go through this. So just bear with me now, but again, anyone can just jump in and say, hey, could you repeat that, or raise your hand, whatever it might be. I want to keep this as friendly, as conversational as possible. Starting next Tuesday at 7 o'clock, April the 6th, any interested party, that could be a parent, a student, a family member, a grandparent, an aunt or an uncle, or an alumnus or a donor of any sort, can create a no obligation account on that website, and they can then bid and overbid on these valuable scholarships. One thing that is noted on these scholarships on our auction website, that they're non-transferable from one student to another. So any winning bidder that assigns it to a student and the money is paid for it, and that money, that credit goes onto that student's account at college, which is the way the process works, that money is non-refundable from Newman-Goretti, since we're using it as a fundraiser to help support our mission. After Tuition4Me runs for 2 weeks until April the 20th at 7 o'clock, I will notify the winning bidders of each of the scholarships. We talk, we can arrange payment, which comes to Newman-Goretti, so we realize the money from that. And the full value of that donated scholarship gets added to your daughter or son's tuition account at that college that donated the scholarship. So again, it's very beneficial that you're bidding on a full value scholarship. You may get it for a reduced price. I'll give you this for instance. DeSales University in Center Valley, Pennsylvania is one of our partner colleges. I saw from the admissions office and Mrs. Edwards that DeSales is one of the colleges that either one or more of our students have been accepted at for this coming year. Their scholarship is worth $2,000, but it's going to have a $1,200 starting bid. That means if any of you go on and bid $1,200 on April 6th or 7th or whatever, and no one else overbids you and you become the winning bidder, your student then receives a full $2,000 worth of college tuition for just $1,200. That's an $800 savings on college costs that I'm sure can be used for another important family expense, but it helps you now, it helps your student, and it keeps your costs as low as possible because it is an expense. Just like tuition at high school is an expense that you've undertaken for your children, you see the value of that, and you want to continue that as college comes about, and you're planning for that based on what financial aid they've been awarded and how this can be added to that to potentially make a difference in their college costs. If your graduating senior this year is accepted to any of these 9 schools, and they've either already made the decision to attend or they're still considering and they're still weighing their options, a scholarship from one of these schools can make the difference for them, and it could be an ideal opportunity for Tuition4Me to get them that full value scholarship at a reduced cost. Now you might say to me, Duke, yeah, that sounds all well and good, but you know, what experience have you had with this, or how does that impact you personally? Personally, I went to 12 years of elementary and Catholic high school, okay? I know what it was like to my families to put me through Catholic high school, but it was nowhere near the cost of what Newman-Goretti is today, so I understand that completely. My wife and I raised 4 children, and when they were ready for college, it literally freaked me out to say that I was making such a small salary that I said, there's no way we can afford to send them to college. But when I went to a college financial aid night with the guidance counselors from my daughter's high school, when she was a junior going into senior year, and they explained about financial aid and filing a FAFSA and getting grants, scholarships, loans, and all that, it became clear that, well, it's not just for the All-American football, high school basketball player to get a full ride, or the best academic student. Anyone can have that opportunity, but it is a financial responsibility for that family. So I'm well aware how that is. And I know when we were scraping pennies to send our children to school, how valuable it is to keep those costs as low as possible. And it was always a factor for us to save money. So I understand the position you may be in, but I'm trying to be as helpful and sympathetic, and Newman Grady is behind you and supporting you all the way. Now, here's a really interesting point. Let's say you or any other Newman Grady family looks at this and says, wow, this is really tough for us to participate at this time because we're paying tuition at Newman Grady. That's a stretch right now. How can we manage that if we see the opportunity and it's only here for 2 weeks? What if you put this out to your family and your family said, let us help you. Let's pool our resources, and each of us will contribute a certain amount, and one of us will be the designated bidder to bid on one of these scholarships. And if that person is the winning bidder, and it's the aunt or uncle or friend or family member or grandparent, that person that wins then makes the payment to Newman Grady. Everyone else has contributed to that by taking a portion of that overall bid so that one person doesn't have to undertake that financial responsibility. And it removes that full financial responsibility or burden from you as a parent, and your child can then receive the benefit of that when they go to college this fall. So it provides more than just the student bidding if the student does have money, or you as a parent cannot see your way through to this at this opportune time from April 6th to April 20th. But family members have that ability to be a bidder. And if your student's grandparent or grandparents or family member live in California, Tennessee, Maine, Chicago, Miami, and they know about this, anyone can go on to this website on April 6th, create a no obligation account, bid and overbid, and they're not going to use the scholarship, but they can assign it to their niece, their nephew, their grandchild. So they are in essence paying it forward and gifting that scholarship or that tuition credit or that housing credit to your child. Now, in this pandemic, I envision these possibilities that grandparents or family members that want to provide a meaningful graduation gift for your graduating senior. Again, they can obtain one of these scholarships safely. There's no in-person interaction, just like shopping online. My wife and I, we're big fans of shopping online now. We don't like to go to the store and have to interact. We got one shot, we're getting our second shot this Thursday, but we still want to be safe and protected, and we can do these things and manage them without being in person. Although I would rather be in person and greeting each one of you with a handshake or a hug or a hi and get that face-to-face interaction. This is what we are faced with, obviously, over the past year plus. But if that elderly grandparent or elderly family member or any family member wants to shop online, just think and imagine that they can be anywhere at any time during that 2 weeks, bid and overbid, put that winning bid at the last minute before 7 o'clock chimes on April 20th, be the winning bidder, and then they're participating in Tuition4Me. That makes a significant difference in their family member. And again, you don't have to take on that sole financial responsibility. For their college education, I know it's maybe selfishly, I see that if I were a grandparent, which I'm not, and my grandchild was going to one of these schools on our Tuition4Me, and I could see my way clear to bidding and winning it and saying, now I'm paying for it, but it's going to go to my niece, John, or my niece, Jane, my grandson, John, Bob, Sylvia, Lisa, Nancy, Heather, whoever that might be. It's their way of participating in the child's college education, and it's done safely. You don't have to sanitize your hands. You don't have to wear a mask. You can be socially distant over thousands of miles, literally. It's just another option that I always like to present to everyone so they can see that this is not something I have to be somewhere at a certain time. I have to pay this. I have to, handle money. I have to talk to people. I have to be in front of people. It's a safe and effective way to communicate family members' intentions to help save money for our kids' college, your kids' college. And that's the whole mantra, holistically. It is make college as affordable for students as possible. I know this is a lot of information. You may have read about it before and you may have some questions, but I just want to pause right now, take a break so that I'm not just monopolizing everything. Feel free to unmute yourself, raise your hand, say hi, whatever, say, hey, Duke. I saw Father Richard had a quick hand wave or a question. Father, please, what's on your mind?
Two things. I mean, you mentioned at the beginning, this is a full value scholarship and it's not a full ride or something like that. Well,
That's correct.
Number one, if you would explain that. And number two, let's say I do bid and I win the $2,000 scholarship for $1,200. What physically do I get, and what kind of verification do I get that the college will accept that, as a $2,000 payment?
Okay, what was the first part of the question again, Father?
The difference between a full
Full
ride
ride, okay.
and full value.
Okay. Let's say one of our Newman Grady seniors is the valedictorian, and I know it was publicized, so I'm not sure who that is, but I saw the name. And our valedictorian has been given a full 4-year, tuition-free, full ride, I call it. There's no cost for that valedictorian to go to that college. That's a full ride. That means all the costs are carried because that university said, you're our presidential scholar or you're our, Newman Grady scholar at that college, whatever the name of that college might be. And we're giving you that because we feel the value that we want to gift that to you. A full value scholarship is what was donated by our partner colleges. $1,000 from LaSalle is a full value scholarship that we are willing to take less money for it to make money for Newman Grady, but LaSalle will say it's $1,000 of tuition credit on that child's account when they go to LaSalle. Secondly, whenever the money is transacted between the winning bidder and Newman Grady, then I communicate with the college with a written letter that says, thank you for your participation in Tuition4Me. Here is the name of the student that will be attending LaSalle as the winner of this scholarship. And it's the name of that student, their address, their birth date, and their social security number, so that that college knows when that student goes to that college, there will be a full value $1,000 scholarship credit on their tuition account. So here's expenses and here's credits. And that $1,000 adds up a little bit more to go against the expenses. So Father, full ride is no cost to the student to attend that college. Full value is the full value of the donated scholarship that each college decided they would give, from anywhere from $1,000 of a scholarship amount to $4,000 of a scholarship amount. And all of those will be bid at 60% of the full value as a starting bid on Tuition4Me. And they will go rise incrementally as people overbid and overbid each other to try to be the winning bidder to get that full value of the stated scholarship for a reduced cost. Does that answer your questions, Father? Thank you. Mr. McColgan, if I could ask you just to kind of weigh in on your thoughts of this whole initiative after I presented to you last year, and what we're on the cusp of, unleashing this fantastic beast, basically. Just wanted to get your, opinion on that.
Well, I'm very excited about it because this is the first, hopefully, in many this type of auction that we have going forward over the next, 5, 10, 15 years. Duke approached me pretty much right out of the gate with this idea. And first I was kind of a little skeptical because, well, I should say I was first a little skeptical. And then once I understood the dynamics of what he wanted to do, that's when things there was some clarity behind it. And I got excited, and the school got excited as well. So, hopefully this is the first of many opportunities that we present to our students, whether it be this year, next year, and subsequent years after. But I think it's early stages. We've got 21 scholarships, Duke? 21 scholarships. Hopefully next year we have 42. Hopefully next year that we have 100. So it's even when Duke would come back to me and say, I spoke to this president of this college, and even the presidents were like, I don't quite get it. I don't quite understand it. But once he explained it to them, and then things started to flow. So it's a great opportunity for your student, your children, and that's what we're about. That's what Newman Grady's about. It's about helping you.
Well, thank you, Joe. I appreciate that, and I appreciate your support and backing. The board is aware of this, and they are fully in support of this. The Archdiocese, since we are in Archdiocesan High School, they are aware of this. They know what's happening, even to the point.
Interrupt a second, Duke. And the Archdiocese is watching because they thought this was, they didn't quite grasp it either. But once we explained it to them and we had numerous conversations, they were like, oh, this is interesting. So they're watching to see how well this does as well. So, this is uncharted waters, if you will.
I'm glad that Joe and the board saw fit to let me test these uncharted waters, because I'm the only one that had experience with this. I created this name and this concept years ago, and to me, I've heard of nowhere else, even in this country, that does anything exactly like this. I did it once successfully before on a smaller scale. Now I'm hoping to really roll this out and start something, even at this small stage with 21 scholarships, like Joe said, and grow it from here. To the point that when I asked all 9 of our partner colleges if they would ask their college president to record a short video saying why they feel the value of Tuition for Me is important, not just for our students coming out of high school, going to college and the benefits to them to save money on college, because they understand how difficult it can be to send your child to college and what the expenses are nowadays. It is staggering in some ways. Out of 9 colleges, 5 of them have responded, and 4 college presidents of these partner colleges have recorded videos that we're going to be posting. We posted the very first one today on our Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook pages for Newman-Goretti. It's Father Tom Looney from King's College in Wilkes-Barre, PA. He recorded a video. You can see it for yourself on our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter pages. And every day from now till Saturday, a different video will be posted there, because again, they're sharing it with their social media. We're sharing it with our social media. And we want students in Newman-Goretti and elsewhere to be able to see this. Now, when I positioned this with Joe McColgan, our president, I said, well, selfishly, I would like to see all 21 scholarships be acquired by Newman-Goretti families, because that's going to be the biggest benefit to help our students save money on college. The one thing I thought about after that, if our families weren't able to support this completely, let me open it up to our archdiocesan sister high schools, because it's of value to their students that they may be willing to undertake this participation. What about the public schools and the private schools and the charter schools? Not just in Philadelphia, even though we're located in South Philly, this has grown that I've been contacting high school administrators across Pennsylvania to see if they are willing to spread this word to their students, that they may be willing to participate, because their students may be looking at any one of these 9 partner colleges also. So what it's done is it's taken the fundraising concept for Newman-Goretti in South Philly and our zip code, and it's brought it out to a wider audience, again, to sustain, to generate revenue, which is my responsibility to Joe and the board and the Archdiocese, to sustain our mission and to grow our community, because even though I wasn't born and raised here, I know how valuable this is in the community. And as being the only Catholic high school in South Philadelphia, it resonates with me to keep that Catholic identity strong. It started in 1934 at Southeast Catholic, which was one of our legacy schools that became Newman-Goretti over the years. So for the past 86 plus years, there's been a Catholic high school in South Philadelphia. And as long as it's on my watch, and as long as Joe and Father and the board will have me, I want to see this continue, that there's a Catholic high school in South Philadelphia for generations, not just years, but generations to come, because that legacy, I want it to be as strong today and tomorrow as it was in the past. No matter what the cost is, we will do everything we can to raise revenue to offset that financial burden that you're willing to undertake to have your children at Newman-Goretti. It's important to me. It's important to Joe, Mr. Quigley, the principal. It's important to Father and our donors. They are aware of what we're doing. They're in support of it. And who knows who may be willing to be an angel donor in our constituency of Newman-Goretti that says, well, I can't go to college. I'm not there. I'm not the age, but I know someone that's looking at one of these schools. And if I want to bid on it and assign it to them, it's like they're donating, making a donation to Newman-Goretti. but that student can go to that college for a reduced cost as the result of their generosity. So many, many possibilities are going to be taking place starting next Tuesday for 2 weeks. I see this as a benefit. I see this as something positive, but always there are thoughts and ideas and questions and clarifications, anything like that, which again, that's why I'm here. That's why I wanted to take this opportunity to present this to you so that you could have the opportunity to, and I'll say that again or explain it or clarify, just like what Father said. I mean, I've had so many questions from college admissions directors, presidents. I went back and forth with one of the presidents personally with phone calls and emails for 2-3 weeks straight. And Joe knows who I'm talking about because he knows the president also. And it was almost like, it's too good to be true. I don't get it. I don't understand and all that. And they finally didn't decide to join us. But some people might also say, well, let me see how you do first. And then maybe I'll jump on next year, but I want to see if it catches on. And I think it's going to catch on.
If I may interrupt, Duke, I'm sorry.
Sure.
And as you can see that, you know, from my chair as president, the finances are, you know, obviously extremely important, and we do everything we can to help you, help your families, help your son or daughter financially to get through, you know, Newman Goretti. Obviously, we help some more than others based on need. But we do our best to help everyone. And now we're taking this idea of goodwill, if you will, and trying to parlay it into helping you get your child to a university or college. So, you know, it doesn't just stop at the front door. We continue to push it forward. So with that said, Duke, take some questions.
Sure. One thing I just want to follow up on what you just said, Joe. Even in this year that I've been with Newman Goretti, I've met through Zoom calls and emails and phone calls, not in person, several donors that are alums that are donating money to elementary schools that are feeder schools to Newman Goretti to bring students into Newman Goretti if they can't afford it. So they're bringing them in from 8th grade to 9th grade. Plus, they're also giving scholarships to get them from Newman Goretti to colleges like Villanova and Drexel and LaSalle and Temple. So, and Penn, they are doing everything they can. Like Joe said, it doesn't start at the front door in 9th grade and end at the exit at 12th grade. They are spreading that out so that it's elementary to high school at Newman Goretti, right into college. They see the value of that. And the more they do that, the more it enhances me and makes me feel good that they see, yes, it's a cost in elementary school, Catholic high school, and it's a cost in college, whether it's a Catholic or non-Catholic college. There are costs associated. And anything we can do to help reduce that or ease that for you as parents who've made that sacrifice, that is what we are attempting to do. Like Joe said, I'll need to take a little break here too. Again, if you have questions, please feel free to jump in, say anything. I'm here for you.
Don't be shy.
Don't make me call on you personally. I don't want to embarrass anyone. I see a question came up from Heather Ramos. Heather? Heather, yes, you came on late and I did not mention the colleges. I apologize for that. The colleges are LaSalle University in Philadelphia, Widener University in Chester, PA, DeSales University in Center Valley, PA, Cedar Crest College in Allentown, PA, King's College in Wilkes-Barre, PA, Wilkes University right down the street from King's College in Wilkes-Barre, PA. They are competitors, so they're competing against each other even with these scholarships. Goldie Beacom College in Wilmington, Delaware, Point Park University in Pittsburgh that has joined us from across the state, okay, with a $1,000 scholarship. And they have a great conservatory of performing arts. If any of your students are into art, dance, acting, theater, music, whatever, it's a fantastic, fantastic college. And I know because one of my children went there and graduated. The 9th one to join us was Caldwell University in Caldwell, New Jersey in Essex County near the New Brunswick, Newark area in New Jersey. Catholic University, they're offering, I believe, a $2,000 scholarship for $1,200. 9 colleges and universities. when Mrs. Edwards put out where our students, or if she did, or the guidance team, or Hugh, Mr. Quigley, put it out several weeks ago, what colleges our students have been accepted to. Out of the 9 colleges that are on our Tuition for Me platform, 5 of them are colleges where our student or students have been accepted. I don't know how many specifically are going to those 5 colleges, but those are students and families, may be yours, that are looking at these colleges, have been accepted to these colleges, and bidding on a scholarship for Tuition for Me might help you get, again, the full value of that donated scholarship at a slightly reduced price, because the starting bids are lower than the full value. So it's a cost savings. It's money that hopefully, if you are the winning bidder, you can utilize the money that you would normally spend for college, for full value scholarship, and utilize it for siblings, other children, for rent, for mortgage, for food on your table that everyone, I'm sure, has been faced with this past year with the pandemic. It's just, I can't fathom completely how everyone is surviving like they are. It's been struggling for a lot of people. But if this is one small way that we can see our way clear to getting towards the light at the end of the tunnel of this pandemic and making an opportunity out of this terrible crisis, then it's something to look forward to, and something to help our students, and something to help your students see their way clear to keeping their education alive as they get to college.
Thanks, Duke. Questions? There has to be 1 or 2 or 3. I know you did a great job, but there's got to be something.
Yeah, I got a question.
Yes, Franco.
Yes, if your child isn't going to one of those 9 schools, am I just assuming this doesn't really pertain to them or work for them?
Correct. I mean, I wish I could have received donated scholarships from every college that our students have been accepted to. That is a decision that was made by colleges to say, yes, we will participate. No, let me think about it. Or no, it's not for us. So yes, if all of our students or your students are going to one of these 9, that's the opportunity to tap into this unique chance to save money on college. So yes, they are specifically for those colleges that have joined us and see the value and the benefit of partnering with us in this collaboration.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. One other little thing, and I know everyone likes to make sure, and I like to make sure, because I'm kind of a detail-oriented person. I don't know if Mr. McColgan can verify that or not. I mean, he and I have gone back and forth on a lot of details over the last year. But in the mice type, if you're familiar with what mice type is, when you hear those radio commercials for car ads or TV, and they say, for this price, you can get this Ford Explorer at $20,000 and all that. And then they talk real fast at the end, you know, MSRP, this, and this, and they say it so fast you don't even know what it is. There is some mice type to Tuition for Me, just so that everyone would be aware, so that I'm upfront completely with all of this. And it's not my doing, but it's also other regulations that we have to abide by. As I mentioned earlier, none of these scholarships that once they're awarded to that student are transferable to another student or a sibling or a friend or a family member. Once that letter goes to the college, and a copy of that letter goes to the student and the family, so that everyone knows who gets what college they're going to, what credit they get on their tuition account when they go to college, nothing is transferable. The money that is transacted as that donation to win that bid to Newman Grady is non-refundable, because it's like any other fundraiser. We realize the benefit so that we can pass that benefit on to our families and to help Joe McColgan and the board manage the financial budget that Newman Grady is faced with every year, according to what the Archdiocese said is reasonable. Third, and it's also important to be mindful, according to IRS regulations, any full value item that someone wins on any silent auction, whether it's Tuition for Me or a silent auction you've experienced in the past with buying, you know, winning a bid on a timeshare or a Phillies box or a basketball or something, if it has a value of $600 and above, the IRS mandates that Newman Grady has to send a 1099 to the winning bidder, and that full value of whatever they've paid less for has to be filed on that winning bidder's taxes in the following taxable year. So for instance, if I'm a winning bidder of a $1,000 scholarship at LaSalle for my child or my grandchild, and I paid $600, $700, $800 for it, Newman Grady will send me a 1099 for $1,000 that have realized as a full value, And I have to include that on my 2022 filing, which is good for 2021, because you're going to be filing your taxes next year for anything you're doing this year. And you have to file that because it's not under our control. The Internal Revenue Service says any value 600 and above, which all our scholarships are, that's something that needs to be filed with that winning bidder's taxes next year for the 2021 taxable year. I always like to put that up front so that no one can say, oh, I didn't know I have to be responsible for that later and I have to pay this much amount for the scholarship. Again, full disclosure, I want to be as transparent and as accountable to you and to any student and family that wins these scholarships, because I want this to be a positive, good taste in your mouth experience for college. The colleges, I want them to have a good experience because I'm honoring the criteria that they're giving us to offer these scholarships. Some are non-renewable. It's only good for 1 year. One of them is $1,000 a year for 4 years, as long as that student stays at the school and maintains their academic status. All of those details are spelled out on the Tuition4Me website, which is www.32auctions.com/tuition4me. www.32auctions.com/tuition4me is our website. You can go on there now. You cannot bid. You can just explore and see exactly what is available starting April 6th. You can even register and create a no obligation account. And then when Tuition4Me kicks off at 7 o'clock next Tuesday, April 6th, you can go on, log in, you can start bidding, you can overbid, and you will receive text and email updates if you provide your cell phone that says, hey, I bid 600 on Widener's $1,000. And now I got an alert 2 days after that someone overbid me. Now, do I want to overbid or not? What's my ceiling as far as bidding? Everyone has a price point, let's say, that they're comfortable with. You would be made aware of that so that you know up until April 20th, you have the opportunity to put in that last bid at 6:59 on April 20th to be that winning bidder. And we will know by the timestamp on those, according to the auction site, who has the winning bid.
And let me backtrack a little bit with
Sure, Joe.
about the IRS.
Yes.
Yes, you get the 1099, but I also believe you get the deduction from whatever it is you paid for the scholarship.
Itemized deductions, correct. If you itemize deductions and it's a charitable contribution, which in essence you're giving a charitable contribution to Newman Goretti, you have to claim $1,000 value from the 1099. You may be able to claim a $600, $700, $800 deduction, charitable contribution. Yes. So that factors in also. Thank you for bringing that up, Joe, because for some taxes are very much an issue. Others it may not be, but as long as everyone is aware of that up front, then it's a comfort level that can I manage this or not? If I can't manage it as a parent, what about our family? Can we do this as a group? It's just like when the Mega Millions is at 300 million and a group of employees get together and say, well, I can't buy $100 worth of tickets, but all of us put $10 in and the 10 of us will split the 300 million when we win it, okay? Same thing. If your family comes up with $600, $700, $800 for that 1,000 and someone is willing to bid on that and then make that payment, oh, I'm going to get 100 from Aunt Jane and I'm going to get 200 from Uncle Joe and I'm going to get 400 from Grandpa, and I only have to put 50 or 100 up because, you know, I'm still paying tuition at Newman Goretti, let's say, if it's one of our families. But this is true for families anywhere that are going to know about this Tuition4Me opportunity so that we can raise money. The full value of all 21 of these scholarships is $30,000, which is $30,000 in scholarships and housing credits that students, 21 students, can benefit from this. Newman Goretti students, students elsewhere. We want everyone to have this opportunity to consider it, to think about it, and to be aware that, hey, if this is something I would like to undertake, if I have any questions, I can talk to Duke Dalblick, I can email him, I can call him. My contact information is on the weekly preview. You can email me, you can contact me anytime that you have any thoughts or questions. If you want to be particularly comfortable that I'm not doing anything or we're not doing anything that is out of line, these colleges understand what's going on. The Archdiocese understands, our administration understands, I understand. And if you see the value of it, we want to offer that opportunity. I'm not out here to convince anyone to support or to be part of it, but I want to make sure everyone's aware of this opportunity, because I would feel terrible, literally, if I didn't offer this to our parents now and days leading up to it, and April 20th comes and someone says to me after the fact, Duke, Mr. McColgan, Father Richard, why didn't I know about this? Why didn't you tell me about this? It could have been perfect for me. I want it to be perfect for everyone as much as it is possible within your family situation. And I can't determine that, obviously.
Again, it's, we're trying to help get those who want to go to these colleges to the next step. So, Father, any comments?
No, I think you pretty much covered it all. I'm just very proud, that we at Newman Goretti are the first, diocesan high school of the 15 now, right? That are undertaking a program like this. And praise God, it will succeed.
I agree.
Again, just like you said, Father, I pray to St. John Newman and St. Maria Goretti, our patron saints. I know that it's not because of what I may or may not do, or Joe will do, or you will do, or anyone will do. It comes from above. God is watching over us. Our patron saints are watching over us. And I want to make sure that they are the ones that are going to drive this effort. And I'm just along for the ride. So I just want everyone to kind of join me on the ride if they want to be part of the ride. I see it as beneficial. I see it as helpful. I can't convince anyone, but I hope that you can see the value of it if it fits, again, with your family dynamic. And there are many opportunities and options to do that. And if you have any thoughts or questions on creatively coming up with some way to make this happen for your student, that is what we're here for. We're here for you. We're here to answer your questions and thoughts also.
And if this doesn't fit into your child's goals for a college or university, please share the information with your friends, whether they're at a Newman Goretti or not, because anyone can bid on this. That it's open. So feel free to, if you have a nephew, a niece, a cousin, a grandchild, by all means, it not only helps that person, that individual, but it also helps the school. So again, we're at 7:45. Any other questions? Anything you need? If there's nothing you think of now, but you're laying on bed tonight and you're looking at the ceiling and with a thought, by all means, reach out to Duke or reach out to myself, and we'll definitely get back and answer your questions. So again, if you have questions right now, ask. Excuse me. If not, I think we'll move to the next step and wrap up.
Sure. Well, again, like I said, if you don't have the time to stay on, and Joe or Father, I will make sure that this link is open till 8 o'clock, because someone may jump on at the last minute and say, hey, I just got home and I wanted to be on, but can you explain it? Can you say it? Who are the colleges? What do I do? How do I do it? We'll be trying to provide this. Since I'm recording this, as I mentioned at the beginning of the hour, we will be posting this. I will ask Mr. Quigley and Mr. McColgan to share this recording with the families so that, again, they can see it at their convenience. If this isn't the most convenient time, I understand that, but we want to make sure that we give everyone every opportunity to be part of this or to take advantage of it if that is reasonable for you. So again, I thank you for being here. I'm glad we're being able to be together. I mean, it's Holy Week, and as we're in Holy Week, I mentioned this to someone in an email, that as we inwardly reflect on the meaning of this week, we can look forward with outward joy to Easter Sunday. And I hope it resonates with everyone, no matter what faith or ethnicity or any identity that you have. We are a family at Newman Goretti. We have an 86-year history of this Catholic education in South Philadelphia. And I say we freely because I feel that I'm part of this family and community. Even though I didn't grow up here and I wasn't raised here, I'm a Pittsburgh guy, so don't hold that against me, okay? But I'm part of the family now, and I see some smirks there also, so just try to hold them in. But I will take any criticism and any little, teasing and all that. I think it's great to have that camaraderie. So please, again, if you can't stay with us, and if you don't have any other further questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Email me, get in touch with me, whatever about Tuition4Me. It's happening next Tuesday, April 6th. I'll be on the call here until 8 o'clock if you can't stay on. But again, thank you for being here, and happy to sit and chat or whatever is necessary at this time. So thank you for your support, and thank you for your attendance.
Thank you. Any questions on the school itself?
Well, you got the guy here, yeah. We'll turn this into a Q&A for you, Mr. McColgan.
Listen, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. We don't want to hold you up too much, but it's a great opportunity. Thank you. Be well. Be safe.
Thank you, Joe.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you, Father. Good night.
Good night.
Well, it's down to me and you, Joe. Hey, even if it's only you and me, I'll keep convincing you. I mean, it was nice to see Father on. I'm glad he, accepted the invitation. And there were probably, I saw at least maybe 7 or 8 names that were on for the most part. And then there were some that dropped off again. When people came on and I was asking where their students were, some were 11th graders, which again, isn't as relevant this year. But if they get the information this year, it becomes easier next year. Can't hear you.
This is the first trial run, so I think this is a great opportunity. I think this is, I love